Alright, so we're back with the 72 El Camino. This is been my project for about 4 years now since I've acquired it. I traded it for a pickup truck that I had, and I wanted a classic vehicle, so here you go. So a little bit of history on it. I drove it around for about 3 years to my job, back and forth as a daily driver, and finally the motor blew up. It was an old 305 that came with it, not the original motor. This vehicle specs out for a 350 V8 with a 350 transmission. California car, built here in California, so that was pretty cool. So to make a long story short, I'm going to be putting a video in here. Ok, so aquí, como ustedes ven, el Camino 72 me trajo por 3 años, daily driver, todos los días, back and forth, downtown Santana, to my job. Beautiful, no complaints, no se rajó para nada. Me gusta este carro porque está cateado como yo estoy cateado y somos casi de la misma edad. Anyway, el motor que tiene ahorita, ya Tony, my best friend, my amigo, my mecánico amigo, ya le echó la bendición y se va a ir bye bye, porque ya está tirando puro smoke, ya no sirve. Le cambié me atreví yo mismo a cambiarle las head gaskets y valve seals y todo, y nada. So el problema es abajo with the pistons, es lo que me dicen, que the piston rings y todo eso. Pero ya me desanimé, ya no quiero arreglar un motor viejo. So, como si yo ya estuviera malo y ya me dijeran, pues ya estuvo, órale pues ya, ni modo. So ya este motor bye bye, es el motor que tiene ahorita. Y hoy nos fuimos temprano a pick your part aquí en Stanton. Y el canijo no se rajó, nos llevó, iba tirando smoke, sí, pero le eché un líquido que venden en el AutoZone que te quita el smoke, y sí se lo quitó el canijo. Pero ya de regreso ya se calentó y empezó a tirar otra vez, no mucho, pero sí empezó a tirar. Pero sí llegó, y miren lo que agarramos. ¡Bam! Este motorcito lo agarramos en la yarda aquí en Stanton. Me atreví, nos fuimos, miré un friego de YouTube videos de cómo desarmarlo y nos prestaron ahí el aparato para sacarlo. Lo saqué hasta arriba, y como los carros los tienen bien altos, pues le sufrí en sacarlo. Y ya cuando casi llegamos al tope con el hoist que me prestaron, freaking thing didn't want to come out, y pasó el forklift guy y me dice, hey, ¿qué pasó? Le dije, pues ya mero, pero no sale. So él con el forklift, pum, rápido lo sacó para arriba y ya estuvo. Aquí está, 5.3 liter V8 from the yard. Me arriesgué, una Suburban que había llegado hoy. No sé si el motor va a estar bueno, pero nos vamos a arriesgar. Le compré la garantía. So me dicen que en 3 meses, si no el motor salió malo, me regresan el dinero. So no hay problema. So ahorita el Camino, man, no se rajó. Miren. I went and picked it up. We took the little thing to take the tools around. Y supuestamente ese Suburban había llegado hoy ahí a la yarda. Y luego le estaban quitando la transmisión y un friego de partes. Entonces luego nos echamos al motor y se ve bien, pero no vamos a saber until I buy the harness. They sell a special harness to get these things started on a stand. You don't even have to put it in the car. You can start the motor off the stand, and if it's a good motor, then you keep it. If it's not a good motor, then I'm gonna return it. So I'm gonna order the harness. I'm gonna get rid of all this stuff that's on it. And I got it with all the accessories. It's got all the accessories. I didn't take anything off. So it was a little bit more expensive, but it wasn't too bad. it's pretty much how it was good because that's the money I had for the engine anyway. That's what I had reserved for the engine. So aquí está el motorcito. Vamos a ver si jala. Tengo que agarrar un engine hoist del Harbor Freight, yo creo. Y I'm going to take it off the El Camino, put it here in the backyard, create a stand for it, maybe even buy a stand, and then just see if I can start her up. I've been able to start these motors up before. I started another motor that I had for a dune buggy. I was able to start it up, so this one, we'll see what happens. Anyways, I'll be following up with more videos. Voy a hacer más videos ya que tenga todo set up y tenga los harnesses y todo para prender esta fregadera, a ver si califica para metérselo al mino. So it's going to be, como dicen, an LS swap, le llaman. This is an LS 5.3. Según es de un 2003. I got it off a 2003 Suburban. That's what these people are doing right now, is take these classic cars, they put these motors in these cars. And I've seen there's a lot of videos on YouTube on this, and there's a lot of information, so hopefully I can go off of that and do it. Okay, see y'all later. recently I was driving it around, drove it around for about 4 months on the new 5.3, but I never changed out the TH350, which was the original trans. So here we are, and this latest video is going to be swapping out the transmission because it blew up. I think it was a mistake that I made. I think what happened is when I was running it, my gear shift was low or was loose, so it ended up popping out and possibly popped into reverse as I was driving, because I heard a really loud boom and the vehicle turned off, motor turned off. I rolled it into a parking lot and it did not want to go into gear anymore after that. I got it towed to the house and here we are. So anyway, I think originally what I should have done was, of course, done the 4L 80E, I believe it's called, that came with this 5.3. But when I got the 5.3 in the junkyard, the transmission was gone, so I went with the TH350 that I already had. It bolted up fine, no issues. All the gears worked fine, but I could never resolve that problem. So finally it caught up to me. So now here we are, about 2 years after I did the swap, or 2 years after I finished the swap, and I'm in need of a transmission. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drop the transmission here that I have now. It's busted. Hopefully I didn't bust the flywheel or the something internal on the motor. Hopefully the motor is gonna be fine, so I won't find out until I drop the tranny. So I'm gonna drop the tranny, make sure the engine's fine, and then move on from there. If the engine was somehow affected by this, then I'll have to do another swap, which is totally doable, because throughout this process I've learned a lot, and I think I could do it faster this time because I've already learned so much. So anyway, here we are, and I'm going to post the original video that I made when I pulled the 5.3 from the picker part here in Stanton, California, and some videos that I have and pictures that I have throughout the process. I didn't take a lot of video, unfortunately, but I took some pictures. I wish I should have taken more video of the whole process and posted these up, but here we are, and I'm going to try to get as much as I can from here on out and start posting up and see if I can get a different transmission for this vehicle if necessary. But I'm gonna be putting videos and pictures in here while I'm doing this process, and so you guys can catch up on everything that I did. So here we go. Okay, so as promised, here we are. Video number 2, 72 El Camino, down for the count. Down for the count. So the update. Last time on the last video I mentioned that I thought the transmission had gone out. Well, it turns out that I took off the transmission, dropped it. Like I said, I was going to drop the transmission. And I did. I noticed the transmission was in bad shape. I'll show it in a second, but it had a bunch of cracks everywhere. It was pretty much falling apart. So good thing I took it down. But as I thought, the motor was damaged, I believe. At least it sounds like it. So I took the transmission off, thinking, okay, I'll start the engine and the engine will be fine, and you know, I can continue on with another transmission. Well, it turns out I turned the motor on and still sounds pretty bad, and it sounds like it has a bunch of marbles rolling around down at the bottom. Sounds like they're coming from the oil
Damn, lost my frame of thought. Oil pan. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. From the oil pan. So what I'm gonna do next is hopefully now that noise is coming from inside the oil pan and not from the internals of the motor. Because I think what happened originally, I thought my transmission had jumped into reverse somehow and it broke the car that way. Well, I think now I'm going back to my original thought, which was since my oil pan hangs super low because it was removed. We have to remember this.
Ezer tolan eta hori zuke entzutie ez da oza nire ustez hori entzutie ez da polita.
This motor that I took out is from a truck, from a Suburban. So the oil pan hangs super low, and for an Alice swap, it's recommended that you do a replacement of the oil pan, which with a shorter oil pan, and I never did that. So I kept driving it with the original oil pan, and of course, I think what happened that day is I might have hit something because it's a couple inches off the ground. Okay, you have to realize a couple inches off the ground. It might have bounced the El Camino, and on that bounce, maybe it hit the floor. It hit something on the street. It hit a bump on the streets. And man, Santa Ana streets, believe me, you buddy, Santa Ana streets are rough. So I think Santa Ana streets might have killed me this time. So if my theory is correct, my second theory anyway, the oil pan hit the bottom somehow, or hit a bump on the ground, hit something on the street that was a little bit too high, and hit the oil pan, and that might have caused the damage to the oil pan. So hopefully that's all it is. Now there's also the possibility of the damage or that hit being so strong that it hit the camshaft or something internal of the motor that pretty much junked the motor at that point. But I'm hoping and wishing and hopefully it's just the oil pan that was damaged. Hopefully the oil pump, which is inside the oil pan, maybe popped out and is jumping around in there every time I run it. Hopefully that's all it is. So my next step is I've already dropped the transmission. Transmission's on the ground. There's no transmission on the vehicle at this point. My next step is going to be drain the oil from the motor, take off the oil pan, and hopefully as soon as I drop the oil pan, yep, I'm going to drop the oil pan, there's going to be a bunch of parts in there that are broken, and hopefully I can replace those parts and we'll be good to go. But I won't know until I take off the oil pan. So here we go. Let's do this, see what happens. I know a lot of you people, or a lot of you guys are saying, well, what the hell are you doing with this car anyway? Why are you doing all this work for this car that is a piece of junk to most people? Well, it is a piece of junk to most people, but to me it's not. And it's a warrior, it's a survivor, and it's been good to me so far, so I'm gonna be good to it. And as most of you know, these last couple of months have been really bad for me personally. I've had a lot of very difficult two very difficult challenges with my family. The loss of my two brothers within a month of each other. So I need this, okay? This is my therapy. This is what is bringing me a little bit of peace in my life that I need. Yes, I do have God in my life. I do pray. I go to church. I have that support from my family that I needed, and from my friends, from you guys that were there for me. But I need this in order for me not to be depressed at home or fall into some kind of depression. I need this. So I'm gonna continue on. I'm not gonna give up on this guy. This 72 El Camino, I could have given up on it so many times, but I didn't. I kept going at it. I kept going at it. I could have dropped this project so many times. I could have sold it off and forgot about it. But no, I kept going. I kept going at it. And I never in my life thought that I could have someday swap an actual motor out of a vehicle. I never would have thought that. So, you know, being that I went through all that, I'm not gonna give up on this machine now. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to get it back up and running. And who knows? Maybe once it's up and running, maybe I will sell it. Maybe I'll move on to another project. Who knows? Because there are other projects that I want to get into. But for now, we're gonna go tackle this, and we're gonna go try to get this, try to see where the damage was done, and go from there. So here we go. All right, here we go. This is the motor 5.3. I took it apart a little bit because I'm working on a situation here. So I took off the transmission. I dropped it like it was hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Here we go. You guys can see. Here's the tranny there. It's pretty beat up, and I think there was a different situation than what I thought. You guys can see a couple cracks in here. There's a crack here. This whole thing is cracked right here. There's a crack here, which is where it was bolted on. So my theory is that when I was driving this thing, when I installed it, I must have tightened up the bolts too tight, and when it was flexing, it probably cracked. Or this thing was so old, the cast iron, that it just started cracking. And I think one of these pieces ended up inside the transmission itself, which that's what caused it to make that loud noise. Originally I thought that maybe the transmission had popped into reverse, but I think if it would have popped into reverse, the damage would have been internal in the gearing. There doesn't seem to be any damage internally. This thing actually turns, so the internals are okay. So I'm thinking one of these pieces cracked, went in here, and that's what was making that freaking loud ass noise. And so that's my theory for now. But either way, this transmission is trash. Unfortunately, I had put a couple new parts on it, but I could take those parts back out and possibly even return them, since it wasn't that long ago that I bought them. Torque converter is fine. I looked at it. Doesn't seem to have any issues. So it has a lot of oil in it. This transmission still had a lot of oil in it, so it wasn't an oil issue. No 03. I did not put all kinds of oil on the engine like you mentioned. So yeah, I think that's what happened, and maybe I hit a bump or something, and it also could have caused these cracks. So there we go. Transmission has been down, taken off. As you can see, the undercarriage, transmission is gone. All that's left is the motor. So right now, the problem I'm having is the battery died because it was sitting for so long. So I'm going to have to jump the battery from one of my other cars, or put another battery in here and jump it off another battery. So this is where I'm at. I will make another video once I get started. Okay, be back. Alright, here we go. We're back. I've got the
transmission bolt or the oil pan bolt loosened up, so it's about to go. And this will also tell me if there's anything up in here that shouldn't be. So here it goes. There goes the oil. Seems to be fairly clean. Now I did the oil change when I first started driving it, so the oil is actually pretty fresh. Still has that viscosity in it. Still feels fairly new. Yummy, tasty, chocolatey. I would not drink it though. So yeah, I'm gonna let that drain out. Once it's done draining, then we'll start doing the whole unbolting of it. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so here she is. The 5.3 is out. This is the motor that I took out from the junkyard from that Suburban in the first video. So the motor is out. I made the executive decision to actually take the freaking motor out. That just makes it easier for me to work on it and diagnose and look and find. As you guys saw in the time-lapse videos that I made, that's the motor I took out. There she is. The hood is off, and bam, transmission and motor are out. So now I ordered the new oil pan, the shorty. There it is, the aluminum oil pan, which is a lot shorter than the one I had on there. So it's just on there for testing purposes, fitment. So I have to actually take it off and put all the gaskets in and torque the bolts and all that good stuff. But there it is in all her glory. So now my plan is I'm going to install the oil pan properly, and when I turn the motor manually from here, from the crank with the wrench, I turn the engine, I don't hear anything. It's weird. I thought I was gonna hear the marbles in there. I don't hear any marbles anymore. But then again, the oil pan is out, so hopefully that's all it was. So now I'm going to install this new oil pan, put the oil back or some oil into the motor, you know, get it to get some oil pressure, hook up a battery to it, turn the motor with the battery, and see if I still hear any noises before I put the motor back in. If I don't hear any more noises, then that means whatever problem it had was fixed when I took the oil pan off. If it's still making noises internally, then this motor's toast, and I'll have to get another motor and put all the accessories on, take all the accessories off this one, put it on a different motor, and go on from there. But this is it. She's waiting for this motor. She is all dirty, crappy. And of course, I'm also gonna try to tackle cleaning the paint up and putting like I had before. I had a black spray on wrap. So it's a spray you buy, you spray it on, and it stays on like a wrap, and then you can take it off, peel it off basically like a sticker. Which in the pictures you guys saw in the prior video, it was black. Well, that was the vinyl. So here it is. There's still some of it left. I have to take it off. Basically comes off like a sticker, protects the paint, protects this car from further rust, and that's what I'm gonna end up doing until I actually do an actual paint job on it, which probably won't be until a good while, because my plan someday is to, if I still have this, if I still want to keep it, is take it all apart and rebuild it from scratch. You guys can see down here, everything is still pretty nasty. So I'm gonna go through all this, clean it up, maybe paint the engine area here, make it cleaner. But one day, I'm gonna take it all apart and actually give it a proper paint job. But for now, I just want a runner. I just want a truck. I want a car I can use, because as those of you who own a home, you know that you have to have a truck or something that'll carry stuff for you. And this thing's been a beast so far. I put it through its paces. We carried a lot of crap in the back there, and it handled it. I put new shocks in the back. What I like about these cars, these El Caminos, is the rear shocks are air. They're air shocks. So as you guys can see right now, it's really low in the back, but if I hook up an air hose to it in the back, it lifts the car up. So it gives me that extra lift when the vehicle's sitting down low in the back. It's a beautiful thing on these vehicles. I can't believe, well, this technology existed in the 70s, and this is a 72, and this stuff existed in the 70s, and I was like, whoa. But that's awesome. I love that. I love that about this car, because I can load it up to 1,000 pounds in the back, and if it goes down, I lift it back up. So that's beautiful. So this is why I have this vehicle as well. It's very utilitarian. I can use it for whatever, and especially if I have to carry stuff around. I don't have to be borrowing trucks from neighbors or friends or compadres. And as a matter of fact, I let my brother borrow this a couple times when he was moving, and he used it to move his stuff around, which is pretty awesome. But now there she sits, down for the count, like I said in the prior video. So now the plan is work on this, try to see if I can get it going, and go from there. And the next video is probably going to be when it's back up and running. I don't think I'm gonna make any more videos of me doing all kinds of stuff because it's just boring. But once I get the motor back in, if I do, this motor or whatever motor, I'm gonna make another video just so you guys see it back up and running and me driving it around and crap like that. But for now, back at it is all I can do. Keep grinding on it. All right, late. All right, so here we go. As you guys can see, the motor is out of the El Camino. Nothing here. It's over here. It's on the stand. As you guys saw in the time-lapse video, I put it on the stand, and this is where it's been. So now what I'm doing is I've actually got the battery hooked up to my charger here. It's charging, and it should have enough power for me to run the motor manually for a couple minutes, just to see and hear the motor. It's got the spark plugs taken out, so it's not going to fire up, obviously, but it is going to turn. It will turn the motor, so I don't have to turn it manually. It'll turn it via the starter. So I'll show you guys how I have that hooked up. And also, I plugged in the new, or I hooked up the new oil pan, and everything looks good. I torqued the bolts on, tightened up this drain plug, new filter. So this is a lot shorter than the one that was from before. The original one is another 3 inches lower, and that's what was happening. You know, that was a big problem I was having, is I had to swap that out with the shorter one, so it gives me more clearance under the car, and I don't hit anything in the future. So that part's done. And the way I have this hooked up right now is the starter. So I'm going straight to the starter. There is a positive coming from the battery, and then so I've got a switch that I'm going to be. This is called a switch here that you click on this and it turns the motor on, because I've got the connectors here going straight to the starter. So this is bypassing everything else, all the electrical. Nothing is hooked up right now, only the starter. So only the motor is going to turn. Nothing's going to power up or anything like that, because I don't have anything plugged into the computer. So the computer is disconnected, everything's disconnected. The only thing I did was take the as you guys can see there's no spark plugs. They've all been removed. That way it doesn't fire. The wires have been disconnected. So it's not gonna fire, but it's gonna turn. So I've already turned it a couple times, and I'm gonna put the camera here so you guys can see the flex plate. And I think this is gonna be the problem. Now you guys will see the flex plate is supposed to turn. The starter turns this plate here that has the teeth on it. That's what turns the motor over. This is what's connected to the crankshaft, which turns all the internals, makes the motor run. So the starter hits a tooth here, it turns the flex plate. And I'm gonna turn it real quick so you guys can see that the flex plate is not turning straight. So here we go. Hopefully it has enough power. So here, I'm gonna be clicking on my little chingadera here, my little jump starter. And this is gonna, as soon as I click here, it's gonna turn the motor on, and you guys can hear it. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, now you guys can hear it's nice and it sounds normal. The internals sound normal. It doesn't sound like marbles anymore, so that's a good sign. But as you guys can see, the flex plate is not turning straight. It's totally crooked. So I'm hoping that's all it is. Just a matter of removing it and put a new one in, but hopefully that's all it is. Here we go. So yeah, the engine sounds good. The flex plate does not look good. And I've also made sure I have oil pressure. So I'm gonna show you guys that real quick too. You can't run a motor without oil pressure. That's gonna kill a motor. So after I changed the oil pan, I put oil in the engine, and I put the oil pressure gauge down here for now temporarily, so I can at least make sure there's oil pressure. Because if there were no oil pressure, then that would mean the oil pan I installed is not working properly. But I know it's working properly because I have oil pressure. So you guys will see the gauge come up as soon as I click on this. So my battery's running low, but here we go. I'm gonna try one more time. You guys will see the oil gauge go up, and that means I'm getting oil pressure. So it's safe for me to run the engine like this. Here we go. There we go. We got about almost 40 pounds of pressure, which is normal. That's a good oil pressure for this motor. But you guys can also hear the battery is draining out. So battery is only not gonna last long enough for me to jump it a couple times. And so I think the problem is gonna be here. This plate. I'm gonna take it off, and I'm gonna hopefully it's something. When the motor jumped, it jacked this plate up, and it flexed to the point where it damaged the plate, and hopefully did not damage the crank inside the motor. So that's my next step. So I'll turn I'll make another video shortly as soon as I get the flex plate off, and hopefully I can see where the damage is on the flex plate. I'll talk to you guys later. Late. All right, so we're back. The new flex plate came in, this thing here, and I've bolted it on to the motor to test and see if the flex plate was the problem. As you guys saw in the last video, when I cranked the engine, this thing was going like this, and which led me to believe that when the transmission failed, it damaged the flex plate, which is good. I think that's going to be the problem, and I think the engine is going to be good, because when I crank this over with my little pistola here, you guys are going to see that, or you're going to hear it too, as you did in the last video. You can hear it. There's no marbles in there anymore. So I think what was happening is this was somehow hitting somewhere, because it wasn't because it was damaged, so it was making that noise. So now that I've changed it out and I've taken the motor out, and as you guys can see, no motor. So now when I crank it over, this is the new flywheel I ordered for I got it for $50 on Amazon, or no, on eBay, Easter Bay. And it just came in today, and I just bolted it on, and I'm gonna crank it over again so you guys can see that now it turns straight. And I think the old flex plate was damaged, and this one is good. So here we go. I'm gonna crank it over with my little pistola. I still have it set up here. It's going straight to the starter, so it's only starting the motor. It's not starting any of the electricals, any of the everything's been disconnected, so nothing else is gonna run. It's not gonna fire, it's not gonna explode. And I had to charge the battery a little bit so I can get this in the video. So here we go. I'm gonna crank it over, and I'm also gonna keep track of my oil pressure gauge here. Make sure we get oil pressure as we do the crank. So let me make sure we get oil pressure here. I'm gonna crank it a couple times here. You guys can see the needle move up, hopefully. 1, 2, 3. There we go. There's the oil. It just kicked in. Can we do it one more time? There we go. Oil pressure. That's good. So that tells me this motor is healthy. getting oil in all the internal parts. And then here's the flex plate. You guys can see that this one's gonna turn nice and straight. And the other flex plate was all over the place. It was doing this. So obviously that was damaged, and thankfully I don't think the internals were damaged on this motor. So now that I put this new flex plate in, I should be able to use this motor and just hook it up to another transmission. And I already got another transmission. I'll show you guys in a minute, but I'm gonna crank it over one more time. There goes the flex plate. All pressure. Good. And you guys can hear the battery. It only lasts a couple times because obviously it's not hooked up to the alternator, so it's not charging. So I'm going to disconnect this from here and there, and that's it. Okay, so we're disconnected. So now let me show you guys the other side of the motor. And I'm also gonna end up taking the headers off because when I first installed these, only 2 or 3 bolts were accessible, so the other 2 bolts were broken. So I have to, which is very common on these motors, so I have to take the headers off, drill out the ones that are broken, and then so I can use all the bolts. So that's another project. But so this is the new transmission here that I got off of the marketplace Facebook. So this one here is a 4L60E transmission that's gonna go on this bad boy. So we're gonna hook that up to that there, and then bam, drop it back into the El Camino. I think thankfully the motor is good, like I said. It sounds healthy. It's got oil pressure. Everything else should be good, hopefully. Now I hope that when I hook it up, it doesn't start acting up again with all the electricals. But anyway, I think we're good. The motor's still good. Still be able to use it. And here we go, new transmission. So this here, it's gonna take me a while to get this done, but this is just an update video, and I've got the parts. I just need the time. So it's gonna take me some time to get all this stuff back together, get the engine back in there. Plus I want to clean everything up this time in there. I want to make sure it's nice and clean, and maybe even paint it before I drop the engine in. I want to clean the engine up real good, because originally I just threw it in the way I pulled it out of the junkyard. It just bam. So you guys can see it's pretty, I mean, it's a used engine. So, but I do want to clean it up. I want to clean this up, and then get the marriage going, marry these two together, and then drop it in, and then hopefully get it running. So you guys won't get another video until that's done. So for now, this is it. I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Bye. All right, here we go. So we're back. Finally got her done, my guys and gals, guys and ghouls. So finally we got her in. Motor's in now. I even have the strap on it still when I was cherry picking in and out. It's all wired up. The wires are all over the place right now, but I gotta set that up. I gotta clean those up. She runs, ladies and gentlemen. She runs. Runs good. As a matter of fact, I had, since we put a new transmission in it, we put a 4L60E transmission in it since the old one had broken, as you guys saw in the earlier videos. Put a new transmission in it, not new, used, that I got on Facebook Marketplace. Turned out it's up to now it's good. In here, I didn't have much space, but when I was testing it, it was going forward and backward, so that's a good sign, right? So that's good. I just opened up the gate, so we're getting ready to get her out of here for the first time in months. So she runs good. I had a buddy of mine who owns a shop in Santa Ana sent me over his HP Tuners guy. So HP Tuners is the software that's used to tune up these 5.3s, and especially because I knew this one was not set up for the 4L60E. So he came in, tuned it up, installed the 4L60E in the software, and it recognized it, and it started working. So that's a big plus. A couple $100 to do that. Being that I'm an IT guy, I should have that software, but it's pretty expensive, and I don't know if it's worth it to me just to use it a couple times. This guy has it. He's a pro. He goes all over LA County, Orange County, working on different motors and setting up people's machines. So to him, it's worth it. So I hired him. He came in here, did it real quick, and it's all good. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start it up for you guys so you guys can hear it. I've started it up a couple times, obviously, to get it tuned up. The only issue I have right now is my power steering. It was leaking earlier, so I did a couple things here and there to stop it from leaking, and it hasn't leaked yet. So we'll see if once I pull it out and actually start driving it. It hasn't leaked when I've been turning the wheel here in the driveway or on the side of my house, but once I get it out and drive it, we'll see if it holds up. If it doesn't hold up, then I'll have to get a whole new steering box, because this one might be shot. But we'll see what happens. It's got power steering right now, so I actually put the power steering belt, or I put the belt that uses power steering, where before I was running this motor without power steering. So this whole bracket here was not in, so I installed it, and now I have the power steering pump installed and all that good stuff. Anyway, so we're gonna get started here. I'm gonna start her up so you guys can hear it, and for the first time in months. So I promised another video when I had it up and running, and here we go. I'm gonna start her up. Oh, I gotta hook up the battery. That's right, I gotta hook up the battery first, my guys. Come on, my guys, you guys gotta tell me stuff. There we go. Hook up the battery. Right now I'm borrowing the battery. I'm borrowing the battery from my son's Honda, and I didn't want to buy another battery until I was sure that this thing was going to run on the new transmission, all that good stuff. So I think this will probably be one of the last times I run it on my son's Honda's battery. And then I'll go out and buy another battery for this. So ready. All right, I'll start her up. Hopefully the phone doesn't fall off when I start it. Go. Okay, so I'm gonna start pulling her out. guys, I'm so freaking happy right now. This thing, I ran it around the block a couple times. I should have recorded it, but I was so excited I forgot to record. This is probably my freaking Christmas gift right here. The transmission, I kept saying we in the other video. We installed. I did this by myself. My guys, my homies, my brothers. I installed the transmission by myself. I installed the motor by myself. And I mean, I'm not a show off. I'm not showing off. It's just I'm learning. All right, I'm not a pro by any means. I'm just learning as I go. But man, it feels good when this thing is, when I took it around the block, it shifts like a freaking Tahoe. It shifts like a Suburban, really smooth. I mean, the shifting is amazing, way better than the old 350 transmission that took a dump. This one hopefully will be a good transmission for a long time to come. And well, what's left? Well, there's, as you guys can see, she's nasty, she's ugly, she's a butterface. She's got a beautiful body, but her face is ugly. Okay, she needs a paint job. So that's what I'm gonna be doing next. As you guys, there are some spots on here that I cleaned up. I removed some rust. They're actually on the other side. But in the prior video, the video where I'm running her in reverse, you guys can see that there's some spots that I cleaned up, cut some rust off of her. So right now she's rust free, no more rust. That's also something that I wanted to take care of, and I've done that over the past couple of years. Slowly but surely, I've been removing the rust off of her. Right now she's rust free. Actually, I'll take that back. There's a couple of spots, but really small spots that shouldn't be too difficult for me to remove. So she still has a couple of rust spots. I'll take that back. So what's next? The paint job for sure. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the spray on wrap, or I'm actually gonna sand her down and actually give her a paint job here at home. One of those Craigslist paint jobs, I guess. Maybe lower the front a little bit, because the front is a little high for me. I'd like to be a little bit lower on the front, and now I can do it because now with this new transmission, it has when I took the motor out this last time, I was able to install the shorty oil pan that will allow me to lower the front, where before with the original oil pan, the oil pan was too low to the ground, so it wouldn't let me. I wasn't able to lower it anymore. So now I should be able to lower it in the front, which will give it that stance that I want. And also these tires are shot, so I want to get a little bit thicker tires. Also fill up the wheel well a little bit more, front and back. And maybe if I do that first, I might not have to lower it. If I can fill the wheel well in the front, I might be happy with that. So we'll see. And as far as everything going on in here, well, I have to clean up the wires, as you guys can see. I gotta make that clean. I gotta put the intake cover on. Maybe put the cowl that goes in here for the air, so that it keeps the engine cooler. It'll cover up the fan. It's a cover that goes here. Put that in there. Clean it up, of course. And there's also a couple issues that I ran into with the way this motor sits is, if you guys can see, the dipstick sits up kind of high. That red one, that one right there, and also the front of the motor right here, I might have to remove that. That sensor is also going to hit when I put the hood on it. I don't think it's going to close. So I got to address those issues before I put the hood back on. I was thinking about painting this whole inside area. I have to replace the wheel well. This plastic one here is crap, so I gotta replace that. I'm gonna be setting up the computer and plugging it into the firewall there, covering it up so it covers, protect it from the heat. All those wires, covering them up. This wheel well also has to go. It's crap. It's gonna have to be replaced. And once I'm done with that, that should be it in here. Remove all the old wiring harness. I'm gonna try to cut as many wires as I can, make it clean. Maybe paint that whole back. I mean, paint this whole inside area here, the whole engine bay, and painting it when I get the new wheel wells. And that's pretty much it. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do is the radiator. This radiator is the original 72 El Camino radiator, which is holding up really good, but it doesn't match with this motor. So I'm gonna get a 2001 Tahoe Suburban radiator and pop it in there, and that should also help keep the motor cooler than it's been. So yeah, my guys, this is it. She's out and about. She's out in the front of the house now. Still got a bunch of junk, but this is where she was for about 6 months, where I was working on it. And finally got to clean up this whole area when I'm done. She's now here on the side of the house, and I also have to get a new battery because I already took the battery out and put it back on my son's Honda, and he's out driving the Honda now. So now this has no battery, which I have to go out and get one. But basically, this is it, guys. She's running. She runs good. She shifts really good. The motor is still very healthy, and I was able to like in the former videos that I made, my thought was the transmission had gone bad. So that was true. The old transmission was good. Was no good. The motor's still good. So here we are with the new transmission, the new used transmission, and the same motor. So this is the same motor that I've been pulling in and out for the past 6 months, that and the other videos that you guys have seen. So here she is. And then my next video is probably going to be after I paint or wrap, whatever. I'll make another video when that's done, so you guys can see the results. So yeah, see you guys later.